too big talking, I fell hook, line, and sinker. Said it'd kill him if I walked away, but it'd kill me if I stayed. But I said that I love you, to save myself. Bang, bang, pull the trigger, man. Bang, bang, pull the trigger, man. 'Cause I don't care about nothing, no, nothing.
Welcome as always to Monday night's Tilton Talk Show. The Radio WM Sports team haven't put a show together, so it's down to us on Tilton Talk. The last Bank Holiday Monday is here, and it's been a hot one, unlike Saturday's game, which was drab beyond belief and not a single point earned. Got me a ticket for the Cop for that one, and my son couldn't comprehend the orderly queue for the pies and pints at half-time. So it's that time of the year when the transfer window comes to a close, and Sky TV, well, I'm sure, as usual, will be at Stoke for the annual Goon Show. As for us, well, Harry has already done a bit of business today, bringing in Jeremy Boger from Chelsea on a season-long loan. International break now, so next week's show will concentrate on who's come and who's gone in the summer transfer window. Only for an hour tonight as it's bank holiday. Onwards and upwards and on with the show. Strap yourselves in once again and get ready for the ride on the one and only Tilton Talk Show. What's TTDDS then?
What's what?
TTDDS.
It was a hashtag created by the founder, Mr. Paul Smith, last week.
Right, okay.
Thanks, Paul.
Tilton Talk Deadline Day Special.
Right, okay.
Which people seem to be absolutely desperate for this Thursday.
This coming Thursday, isn't it, of
this
course?
coming Thursday, yeah.
Oh, is it this Thursday?
This Thursday, yeah. 3 days' time.
Well, we start the show off tonight with a little bit of sad news coming out of the club. Club photographer Bill Goulden from the 70s and the 80s sadly passed away a week ago. As always, at a sad time this, our thoughts go out to his family and friends. And also, while we're in that kind of mode, there's a little lad, Alfie, who needs a lot of thought at the moment. You've probably all seen him branded all over the, I think, many of the Facebook pages. Poor little lad's desperately poorly in hospital, so keep him in your thoughts. The response on social networks has been absolutely incredible so far, so let's hope all goes well there. Two special guests into the studio tonight. We've got Sam Float.
Thanks.
Sam Float, as in Sam Hubert Float. With his hat on. He didn't have his hat on Saturday. Oh, there you go. Everybody gets the clap when they come in. He didn't have his hat on Saturday, and I daren't go up and talk. I didn't recognise him. seriously. And I thought I didn't want to make me sort of fucking idiot. You know what I mean?
I need to get copyrighted.
Why Float?
Fattest lump of all time. According to my mates. So.
And we've got a brand new City supporter, or will be very shortly, because we're going to have a pledge on the show tonight. First time we've done it in 7 years, and this young lady is going to pledge her life to Birmingham City Football Club. Bless her. Okay, that's going to be
Poor thing. Poor thing.
Yeah, no, she'll
It's
do
a
it.
wonderful
She'll do it. Yeah. There you go. You get a round of applause as well, my dear. Oh, Mr. Pugh, Saturday's game. What happened?
What happened? Not a lot. Not a lot from Blues perspective. Yeah, desperate. I saw the vast majority of the first half, and I couldn't quite. Had to keep telling myself that this was actually England's second tier of football, and that Reading themselves were actually in a Championship playoff final last season, and we're talking up chances of playoffs, and actually this is two professional football club teams that I was actually watching playing football. The lack of quality from either team was absolutely astonishing. And honestly, Yap Stan must have took him in at half time and said, have you actually seen this lot?
They're there for the taking.
Have you actually seen how bad this lot are playing? Sort it out. And they did second half. They were marginally better, but they didn't need to be anything much to beat us, to be honest.
They did the bare minimum, didn't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
I
think there's some players in that team that know that their future is not at St Andrews.
But that's not.
I know, and you know.
That's not good enough.
I know it's not good enough. I know it's not. And Saturday wasn't good enough.
Whether your future lies at St Andrews, or how many How many are actually going to leave the club in the next 3 days?
Who
Out
knows?
the 11 that started.
I really
There's not
don't
going to be
know.
a lot that leave, that actually leave the club. You know, just people like, I don't know. I was talking to a mate of mine, who I know from Blues Ladies as well. And he just come up to me, and the first thing he said to me was Gleeson. Stephen Gleeson in the starting 11 after the performance he put in against Bournemouth, and he's in. That tells you exactly what he thinks of Gardner and Davis, how bad Gardner and Davis are in Redknapp's eyes, and I mean, but I still wouldn't put him in.
You see, I personally think that he played Gleeson on Saturday, and I think he said to him, like, "Look, this is your time to show that you've got a place at this club, or even worst case scenario, get yourself into the shop window with a good performance."
He didn't do it.
No, and he didn't.
I don't know what, and it's sort of a shame because I actually saw a relatively decent player there.
Yeah.
You know, once upon a time under managers that we're not allowed to talk about.
Oh, you can
anymore.
talk about them now. Yeah, you can talk about them.
Under Rowett.
Oh, he's
there
done well, hasn't he?
There was a
Was it
player.
4 wins in 22? That's Zola-esque, that is, isn't it? 4 wins in 22.
But there was a player there. You actually saw a relatively attack-minded and
He got the best out of him,
relatively confident footballer. There is, and that man is so sapped of any confidence. It's untrue.
Yeah, it wasn't all round a good performance. There was one comedy moment in the game, though, for me, when Sam Bakuna hit a ball and it went flying sky over the crossbar. The old gentleman in front of me, you won't remember this, just started singing Savo, Savo, Savo. Do you remember it? Savo Milosevic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time anybody skied a ball, that's what they used to sing back in the day. So, but that was about the highlight of my day, to be perfectly honest with you. Apart from getting home, that was quite good as well.
You know, I don't know. I'm just. We said it last week after the Burton game. You know, I mean, I come out. We spoke after the Burton game, thinking, well, it can't. You know how bad we were in that second half, especially against Burton. I didn't think it could be any worse than that. It was we had it for the whole 90 minutes against Reading.
Yeah, go for it.
Friend of the show, Jerry Gill. I watched the game Saturday. It wasn't just the lack of quality; it was the lack of tempo and willingness. to
Yeah, it
tackle
was.
okay.
They were hiding.
and try to make.
They
something
looked
happen.
scared.
Yeah,
They actually looked scared.
he's saying it was like a pre-season game and nothing like a championship game. Says Jerry.
Yeah, he's spot on.
See, I can take us losing. I don't mind us losing.
Put shift in.
It's the performance.
Yeah.
Show a bit of art, and there was just nothing on Saturday.
Yeah.
And you know, people want to say that the atmosphere wasn't great in the ground. The players have got to give something for the fans to get excited about.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Yeah, you know, 20,000 turn up again. It's over to the players to get something out of the crowd as well.
And this is what I mean. Like, you know, we're talking about Gleeson and all that. This is still the same group of players that were 7th, 1 point off the playoffs when Rowett got sacked.
I mean, I'll pick on Gleeson. You know,
Well, I think everybody was.
because I was so surprised to see him in the starting 11. But you know, not one of them can come out of that with any real credibility.
No.
Not one of them could have looked at themselves after that and gone, "I did everything I could today." Like, you know, I am confident in the fact that I have played to the best of my ability today.
Just to let you know, Courtney Annan's just joined in. She's a reformed Stokey as well. You know.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go through the family bit by bit. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
we'll bring them all in. So,
And Dan Jones agrees. He says, "Even lads, I think Gleeson is terrible, lads. He's got to go. I think Portsmouth want him."
There's a reason he was given the number 50 shirt.
Yeah.
Nothing
Exactly.
says I want you out
It's gone
more
from
than
number
that.
8 to number 50. And Gardner and Davis have obviously been so disappointing in Redknapp's eyes that he's playing. You know, that was a statement from Redknapp, I think, saying, "Listen, you might be a Blues fan, Gardner, and you might have you might wear your heart on your sleeve, Davis, but you're not playing as well as I want you to. So you're not playing. You know, I'm going to play Gleeson.
Yeah.
I'm going to play somebody Portsmouth don't know if they want in League One. I'm going to play him ahead of you."
Is it just me that's thinking as well? He doesn't know what type of tactic he wants to go for, because we've tried to play 4-4-2, 4-3-3, and 3
This is
three
black.
with the wing
but
backs.
he's openly said, which
formation.
I think was probably a mistake. He's openly said that this isn't the team that I want. So
That's it. That is. Listen, there's quite a number of things you could actually throw at Redknapp if it wasn't for the fact that he's kept us up last season.
yeah.
You know, And how many games we had this now? 5.
5.
5 in the league. So
Five,
he's had 8 league games. You know, which isn't a lot.
No, it isn't.
You know, it feels like he's been here a long time because of the pre-season, but he's only had 8 league games. But we are now 5 league games into the season, and it feels like they've been wasted. It feels like he's just dilly-dallying around, wondering what he can do with
what he's got.
What he's got, and the amount of times he's come out and said, "I can't do anything with this group." You know, and he's had a little bit of bad luck. We bought Vassell in and he got injured.
Yeah.
Adams was the one at the start of the season who we looked to. He's injured. We bought Jenkinson at right back because he didn't like Ensue. Jenkinson's injured. He's had a bit of bad luck with the injuries as well. But he's also, you know, he's made a bed for himself. And if we don't get the players in he wants, is he going to lie in that bed for the next 4 months?
But having said that, he's made a cracking loan signing today, a year-long loan from Chelsea from Jeremy Boga.
It looks on the face of it a very good signing.
Yeah. Attacking midfielder.
Yeah. Someone.
Again,
I mentioned it last week.
Let's go with the ball at his feet.
That's the main thing. I mentioned it last week after Burton, and I was screaming out for it again Saturday. Just put your foot on the ball. Somebody, please, have the confidence in your own ability to take a touch and just, you know, stay on the ball for more than 5 seconds before hoofing it clear, because you don't know what to do with it.
But Pete Rolfe says we can judge him when everyone is fit and he's got who he wants. That's the key.
Listen, that's the key. Well, you know, once September comes and the window's shut, and you know, Jenkinson's not going to be fit for a few months by the looks of things now, but Vassell should be back hopefully. Adams will be back hopefully soon. So, yeah, you can start then saying, okay, mid-September, end of September, this is what you've got. Now you're going to have to start working with it now.
Good evening, D. Bishop, and a very happy birthday for the other day. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining. And what we'd like everybody to do is share this on your own personal social networks to be in the chance with a prize. We had a competition last time, Chris. We got a prize winner.
We did, and the winner was Janie Tarbuck, and she won a Keep Right On hoodie.
A Keep Right On hoodie.
Yeah,
that can't be bad, can it? Just for sharing those. The prize this week will be?
It'll be a choice of prizes. We've got many prizes.
We have an abundance of stuff to give
T-shirt, hat, T-shirt, hat.
Or a hat.
Or a hat or a T-shirt.
Or a T-shirt.
Or a hoodie.
Not my hat.
Okay.
No,
T-shirt as well.
Dean says it's time to say goodbye to Gleeson, Grounds and Shotton.
Yeah, Shotton. I'd keep Shotton.
Do you know what? Grounds did okay. Grounds did. I've slated.
He had a shocker,
basically
though,
slated
everybody.
Do you know, in that third centre back role, I think there is. I think there's enough there to say that he could be the cover for that other centre half. If you're happy with Bramall, you know, fair play to, you know, maybe we'll leave Bramall out of the criticism because, you know, he looked quick. He looked like he was up for getting up and down the wing. So maybe leave him out of the criticism. But if you've got him at left back, maybe there's that option of Grounds at centre back rather than at left back.
Benji Smith says we call him Stephen Sideways and back me and my uncle.
Yeah, he is. But so I saw somebody put it's not his job to, you know, his job is to sit there and break up play and move the ball on. Well, he's not moving the ball on quick enough. He's not confident enough at the moment to move the ball on anywhere. And he's not breaking up play. He's not quick enough to break up play. Plus, you've got Kifton, Belden and Doyle alongside him who are much better at that breaking up of play than him.
But even Keith didn't have a good game, did he?
But none of could you say any of
no.
none of Jack Magoma, who was roasted after the Burton game, he was the only one who looked like he knew how to actually run with the ball.
And then we've got this new young lad on the side, on the left.
Bramall, yeah.
Bramall. It seemed to me as in the first half he was making the runs. He was making the runs that you wanted him to, but nobody was servicing him at all.
So you stop making the runs, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's natural. Yeah. You know, he's a young lad and he's trying to get up and down that touchline. But what are you going to keep doing that for if nobody's actually moving for you or anything?
Yeah.
I think in the end he got forward
he looked
and
frustrated.
He had the ball about 30 yards out. He just went for goal instead because he knew he had no other option.
He looked frustrated in the first half because like. He was out right back, left back 1 minute, and then boom, he was gone. You know what I mean? But
nobody was fine.
And then he was going like, you know,
Yeah.
And what is he? He's only a young lad, isn't
See,
he?
what type of style do you think that he's going for? Because I think Redknapp wants to play this three at the back with wing backs because he hasn't seemed to be interested in any wingers all summer. He's told Kotra he can go for a free. Obviously, no one's come in for him, but what's he actually going for? And it seems to be that he's only gone for this three at the back formation for the last couple of games against Bournemouth and on Saturday. And I'm haunted by it for life after the last 6 months with Zola.
With the three at the back,
it scarred me for life. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
We're not Chelsea. It doesn't suit our players.
Benji Smith. Sorry, go on.
Sorry.
My apologies.
Unless we go out there and buy 20 new players, because that squad has been neglected of serious funding for 6 years due to poor ownership.
Yeah.
And well, it's supposed to be fixed after 2 transfer windows. It's not going to happen, is it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Benji was asking if we talked about the guy in the toilets yet. No, we haven't.
No, we haven't, not yet. It is on the list, Benji.
I'll embarrass him in a bit.
The highlight of the weekend, that was.
So we've done the competition winner then. Right, okay. Half time. Just 3 or 4 minutes before the half time whistle went. I went from the back of the cop. No, I don't normally go in the cop. I went from the back of the cop, right in the halfway line, to the catering facilities at the back of there, just up slightly left, and then at the back. Yeah, you know the one I mean.
No.
Right. Okay.
Sorry.
So on a halfway line.
Yeah.
Walk up, turn left, walk down about 10 yards, and then back up again.
Right.
Top of the
one at
cup
the top
corner.
cup- almost in the cop corner,
Yeah.
not about halfway.
Okay.
All right, okay. And there was an orderly queue for beers and pies, and my
Well,
son
that's
was
good.
like, I know,
That's good, yeah.
my son was like, he says, Dad, look, he says, a queue at St Andrews. People are waiting in line. He couldn't believe it, you know what I mean? And he said he even had to say please and thank you to the person that served him.
Okay.
And
good.
passed 2 glass bottles over to him,
Yeah.
which we poured into things,
Yeah.
into plastic cups, obviously, because you couldn't take the glass with you. Gave him back, and he says, I don't even feel like dropping my rubbish on the floor. He said, I've never seen nothing like it here.
Standards are improving.
You see, my only concern is with the actual service of catering down at the Blues is you've got to consider this season there's been an increase in season ticket sales, so there's more revenue that's coming to the club. They've put the prices up at the kiosks, so everything's more expensive. Yet there's still the same amount of staff, and for you to have chance to get a beer and get back to your seat for the start of the second half, you got to leave at 15 minutes with the first half left to go. You're missing 15 minutes of the game. It's still the same slow service for me. I think it's quite poor, in my honest opinion.
And I'm sorry, but my son says exactly the same.
Oh.
There you go.
All I'll say, in defence, and I'm sure that my manager will back me up, is that the turnover of staff is ludicrous.
Yes.
You know, staff turn up for 4 games and then they're gone. They never come back, and you're having to hire new people in. And every other week, there's at least 1, possibly 2 new members of staff on each bar. So they are desperately trying to get more staff on the bars. They know the attendances are rising. They're desperate for more staff to get on the bars. But every game, there's at least 1, 2 new staff, and obviously they're having to be trained on, and it's taking a lot of time.
Well, many years ago, we had a multi-pouring system where you had a tray with about 12
but
glasses.
they won't have that because people are complaining now.
Couldn't
People are complaining that they're not having a beer that's been sat there for 2 minutes. They want a fresh one. So you can't have the multi-pouring system.
Well, why don't they just go for bottles and just scrap the taps, and it's a much quicker service.
I don't know.
Should get me running the club. I'll sort it out.
Okay. Shut up, Sam. Drink your beer, you wobbler.
Where's that
as it
from?
comes in.
Jake Bullen.
Do you know, as it
God,
comes in, Sam, we have to just say it. Yes, mister.
I was going to wish somebody a happy birthday, but I've lost it.
If it's your birthday,
Yeah.
put
happy
it on the shout box.
Put it back
and
up, yeah, I'm
we'll wish
sorry
you a
I've
happy
lost it.
birthday.
And don't forget to share for the chance of a good prize next week. It might be a hat or a t-shirt.
So many
or a
comments
hoodie
coming in,
or,
sorry.
you know.
Can I read this one out? George Ellis. It will stop moaning. It will come together. Look what position we was in. No players coming in. Wait for a couple more and let the team settle. it's all well and good.
It is.
But we have played 5 games now, and not one of them can I say that we've looked anything like.
And we've got 4
And
points.
we're getting actually we're getting worse and worse and worse
And we've
as
got
the
4
season
points.
goes on. And we've got 4 points. One team's got 15.
And even them
we're
across the expressway are
11.
above
Don't
us.
worry about them. We're 11 points off the top.
I
Do you know what I
think
mean?
we're all right.
I'm not saying we're
Yeah,
aiming
yeah,
for the
yeah,
top,
yeah, I know what you
but
mean.
we're already 11 points off one team in the division.
Don't you think we was all right against
George
Bristol?
George Glue says Gleeson would give better service behind the kiosk than he does on the pitch.
yeah. Well,
Sign
yeah.
him up.
Passing the beer sideways.
And if he's on the box, if he's on the box, you might as well get him behind the bar. innit?
That's the funniest comment you've ever come out with. Brilliant. Oh dear. And I must say though, when I had a pie, I usually have a burger, but I thought I'd go for a pie. I went for a Cornish pasty, they'd sold out, which is fair enough, you know.
Yeah.
It happens.
You can't have an infinite amount of Cornish pasties, can
Yeah,
you?
that's true.
So I had a steak and kidney pie,
Yeah.
and it was red hot.
Oh yeah,
It took me ages to eat it. It was red hot. No, I'm congratulating.
Oh, okay.
Congratulating. It was like
Okay.
the service was brilliant, the queue was brilliant, the food was
We
good.
do genuinely get people coming up saying this is too hot.
It was perfect.
This is too hot. I can't hold the pie. It's too hot.
I was having that trouble. I was having to swap
Do you want
hands.
to stick it in the fridge for 20 minutes and you can come back for it?
That's why you get a pint deal so you can wash it down.
Yeah, exactly.
It's common sense.
That's not a bad
isn't it?
deal. That's £6
No,
fifty for that. So.
well, it was better with £6 last season.
No, but yeah, but look, things do go up,
6
don't they?
years.
You know what I mean?
6 years they held the prices on
That is-
all
no, it is all
all
right.
food and drink.
Right. Okay. So that's acceptable.
They they really couldn't do it again.
That's acceptable. Sam ate all the pies. 5 games, 15 points, only 4 on the board, and an ability to average 2 per game is increasing from Kevin Kelly.
The
Alfonso-
ability to average two passes forward a game.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Alfonso there. I got a 3rd-degree burns off my lip on a Balti pie.
It's worth it though. 45.
I've never had a
pies are
Balti
good.
one.
Oh, come on.
I've never had a Balti pie.
Highly
I've
recommended.
not
from
done
me.
it.
Outrageous.
You recommend it?
Yeah, they're highly recommended.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll do it next time.
I wouldn't go for the meat and potato. I'm not a lover of that one. But definitely
There was no
chicken
kidney in the
balls,
steak and kidney pie though, because I was looking individually for every piece and picking it.
Okay.
But you can't see inside it, can you? It's not your fault.
No, it's not my fault, no. Certainly not my fault. Don't make complaints.
Right, okay, we've descended into chaos. Now let's bring this show back into the normal, commonsensical kind of show that it is. Who's your mate that fell asleep in the bog?
Right. Am I allowed to say his name?
Yeah, by all means, yeah.
Well, his name's Dan. We call him Syndrome because he looks like the baddie off the Incredibles film.
Never watched it.
No, no.
But yeah, so basically I was up at the top end of the entrance by the club shop.
Yes.
I was up there having a beer at half time with my pal.
With your hat off?
With my hat off.
Yeah, I know.
For a change. It was nice weather, weren't it? And I've seen him trying to leave through the turnstiles, and this is just as the second half has just started. I'm like, what are you doing, mate? He was like, oh, I was thinking of leaving and going for a beer. Do you fancy? I was like, no, let's go for a second half, go for a beer afterwards. So I went down to the seats. Don't know how we got down the stairs. And then about 10 minutes later, when we're sitting at the seats, he just like slowly starts to like lean forward and like he's dozing off. Don't know whether it was a drink or the game. Could have been a mixture of both. And then he eventually dragged himself to the toilet. As he was going up the stairs, he like fell and landed on someone that was sitting down. Made his way to the toilet, and we just assumed that he left after that. He went up about 75th minute or something. I only seen the video Sunday morning, and I heard his voice. I was like, "Oh my god, that's Syndrome, that is." And then when the camera finally spun around to him, but it's like all the comments that were saying, like, that's not, that's fake and all that. The state he was in, 100% legit.
It has made national sports shows on
Yeah.
the way here. They were talking about it on
They'll be
on
happy.
Talk Sport today. So they said, I mean, look, no harm done. They thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. It's thankfully he didn't hurt the lady that he fell onto or
No,
or whatever, so-
it was some big geezer. It was bigger than me, to be fair.
Ah, right. But yeah, I did see the video. Lots of foul language in it. So
Foul
if you are
man,
of young of age, please don't watch it.
No.
We can't condone that kind of stuff on here.
No.
Ladies' news, anything?
Friendly yesterday away at Oxford, won 4-1. Ellen White hat-trick, coming back from Euros duties with England, and Marissa Evers, I think Evers with the other goal as well. So yeah, season starting up again end of September, I think.
Right.
Towards the end of September, with Arsenal away as the first game of the new season. So
I have no idea what goes on with the women's football. I don't follow it. So how do the seasons work?
well, it used to be summer league.
Right.
So it would start April time and then end around September, October.
Right.
But they've took a break. The league that's just gone was like a passing of the time league, if you like. So everyone just played each other once,
Right.
as a little league, mini league. So, but the season's starting again in September now, and it goes all the way. So it'll run in conjunction
With the blokes,
with the men's
Right.
with the men's league now, which makes sense. With the FA Cup final is always in May.
Yeah.
So like they'd have the women's FA Cup final just as the season was getting started, sort of thing. So that'll be at the end of the season now, and then it helps with Champions League for the English teams in the Champions League. They'll all be at the right stage, same stage as all the European teams.
Will they do that
and-
again next season?
yeah, that's the plan now to
right?
run it in conjunction with the men's season as we go on.
okay.
Yeah.
Fiercely competitive.
Is
Believe
it?
me, very, very, very competitive indeed.
Yeah, right, okay.
Very competitive. To the point,
Well, I was-
to the point where it was the first women's game I went to was quite scary. How they were battering each other, and just getting up, just getting up. There's none of this rolling around on the floor.
No,
just
no,
get
no.
up, get up, carry
I'll
on.
have to give it a chance one time.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I've just never really been.
It's a lovely day out.
They
Actually,
play
it's a
down
nice
at
day.
Solihull
out.
more, so
Yeah.
it's not
I
it's
do
not
like
a
the Moors.
mission.
Yeah.
It's not a mission for most
To
Blues
be fair, I
fans.
generally
so.
tend to go down the moors if the Blues if the
Yeah,
Blues are
yeah.
miles away. I think I
Yeah.
quite like it down Solihull. It's all right.
Well, there you go. Take on a ladies' game then.
Yeah, might do.
Right. Okay.
Tilton Talk, Women's Day,
Yeah,
We'll do it.
sorted.
We'll do
Away
it.
day, yeah.
Away day. Tilton Talk away day. Do you know what?
we got to finalise that one, haven't we?
Yes. Yeah. The Tilton Talk away day is hopefully going to be
Sheffield
Sheffield
United, I
United,
think, was the one we
Sheffield United.
decided. Yeah,
Sheffield
end
United.
of November. Is it?
Another thing I want to talk about is that disgusting, filthy football club called Leeds United trying to charge £37 for an away ticket. How disgusting is that?
Can I just say something about that? If you don't agree with the price, don't.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go. I wouldn't pay. I wouldn't
Yeah.
pay that to go to a
Yeah.
football game.
And
I didn't pay that for my Carling Cup final
But
ticket.
I do generally think, especially with clubs like Leeds and Sheffield Wednesday that do charge those prices, every other group of fans in that division should go, you know what, none of us are going Sheffield Wednesday away, none of us are going Leeds
But
away.
that's probably what they want. You know, they want.
Because-
They probably want less away supporters there, so that there's more
yeah,
more home
less
atmosphere.
policing cost and all that
Less-
stuff.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But then they
No,
know
come
that,
on,
they know
Chris. There
that
should
they
be a
won't,
cap.
though.
There
They know
should
that
be
they
a
won't,
cap.
will
though.
they?
There should be a cap on it.
You know, I mean, in an ideal world, yeah, the Premier League have been able to find enough to no club pays more than 20 quid, is it?
Yeah,
30
£30 for
quid.
the away fans.
30 quid.
But-
No pay. You know, and I remember going to Chelsea for 50 quid.
Yeah.
So you know, there's been a come down there,
The
and,
thing
and if
what's-
the money does filter down, which everybody says it does, then hopefully at some stage we'll have the same situation in the Championship as well. But while they can do it, you know, clubs like Leeds now. People like going to Leeds. People like going to Sheffield Wednesday. Like, you know, the Sheffield Wednesday especially, you get the whole end behind the block. You know, Fulham. Imagine if Fulham started charging 40 quid for an away ticket. People would still sell it out. We'll still sell 5,000 there
Yeah, I don't know,
because they know that people are going to. And whether you like it or not, you can say don't go. Everybody boycott Leeds away. But when it comes to the Wednesday before the game, and all the people who go away from home, who have been to every single game for the last 30 years, start getting twitchy, they're going to end up buying a ticket.
Chris, have you sweet talked the missus for deadline day? You knew that one was coming, didn't you? You knew I'd say that one. You knew I'd say that. Is she in the living room right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going in there.
Go fetch her.
No.
Go fetch her.
Do you want to be a Tilton Talk show next week?
Oh,
No,
you know.
Thursday.
Or for the foreseeable future.
Oh, for the foreseeable future. Let me work my way.
Oh dear, poor man. Poor man.
Dennis wants to know, Sam, are you still involved with Tilton Lions?
No,
and,
nothing at all
and-
with it anymore now.
You don't do anything?
I moved. Well, I was down there from the start of last season. I moved my tickets. I'm over in Block 14 now. Moved my tickets back in January, I think. I just had a bit of a disagreement with a few of the people that were running it, but I got to speak to a few of them at the Huddersfield game, the last home game of last season, and it's all dead and buried now. So, like in regards to whatever disagreement we had, but I think the idea is a sound one, but I just don't know that it will be executed correctly, kind of thing, and that's my only concern.
Do you think the club's got anything to do with that?
I think the club could do a bit more to help.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know, it's like that the fans were like, they told the fans, yes, okay, you can have that area, and then after a few games, you're being told to sit down. People were being ejected and all that kind of stuff, and it was just always a constant ongoing battle.
The Bolton game, the Bolton was the midweek one, wasn't it? The Tuesday night one, Bolton at home.
Oh, the other week.
Yeah, and the stewards were, for about 25 minutes, were telling all of them in Block 4 to sit down.
I know, I never heard anything like that.
They weren't knowing anything of it. So it seems like there's, you know, although the group is still there in name and number, and they're still standing.
The thing is, I know a lot of the people that
the club are trying to tell them to sit down now.
A lot of the people that are just down there now, obviously, because they've all got to know each other, they've all become good mates, and they're just happy being down there doing their own thing. They're not causing any grief to anyone, are they?
No.
So at the end of the day, people know. Well, people should really know that that's an area now where, if you want to stand up and have a sing-song, you can, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good. Good.
Yeah, right. Another issue, Alan Drew. This is quite an interesting one. Do you want to read this one, mister?
Yeah, okay. Then another thing we need to improve for fans: the toilets are disgusting. One hand dry in the Tilton, and you can blow on your hands to dry them faster. Paper towels run out before the kick-off, and as for the poor ladies, they have, I think, 2 toilets, and we have lots of ladies in the stands. Can we get it improved? I've never seen any complaints about the toilet.
I think they're comfortable to sleep in, aren't they?
I've actually slept in the toilets.
So I hear.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to check spelling on pinned post. Can you do that, please?
Oh, right, okay.
Okay, thank you.
What have I put?
Share the stream. Share the stream. You dingle.
Black Country edition of Tilton Talk Show.
Share the
I love it. Thursday. We're not 100% sure if we're going out on air on Thursday yet.
Yeah.
We're not sure.
Roving Mike's outside West Hills, I think.
Keep it down.
Could we do that?
Pardon?
Roving Mike outside West Hills.
Oh, of course you can.
We'd have to get in touch with the powers that be at Birmingham City and see if we're allowed to stand outside the gate.
Well, it's public
Because
space.
some stand outside the gate.
We'll just have to do it in the golf range, won't we? Off over the road. We'll just have to stand in the car park in the golf range.
Or me granddaughter's living room.
Oh, is that
We could do it from there.
Okay.
Do the live one from there. You know,
Well, they've had to
only up the road.
have you noticed now on Sky Sports, especially last few years, I think they've stopped the reporters being by the
They've
fans
moved them
now, haven't they?
inside,
Because of all the other
The
incidents.
Stoke incidents. Yeah.
ridiculous.
I mean, the best one was with the big purple thing.
Yeah.
Did you say that? That one was hilarious.
Yeah, just say that. Yeah. But no, if there is, Alan, issues with the toilets, I think you're probably best off contacting the club.
Yeah.
And
wouldn't
going
know,
through.
yeah.
I mean, we can air it on here by all means. We'll talk about any issues that.
To be fair, I've
Birmingham City
noticed more
football.
women that are starting to go
There
down
are a
there
lot,
now
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And with that in mind, that leads me on then to the next subject. With more women going to the football.
Yeah.
We have in the midst this evening a special guest called Courtney. Courtney is gone up to 14, yeah? And if you'd like to come and stand here, you could be in St Andrews.
Yeah.
Because she's been sat on the back on the sidelines at the moment.
Okay.
And,
It's on the bench.
and your face is now...
I'll tell her, if she drops her head down a
look,
bit,
if you watch there...
drop your head down a bit. Drop your head. That's it. Yeah. There you go.
Have you got her in?
You're almost on the pitch now. That's great.
Would you want me to move for a second? Would
You'll
I see
see
if,
no, you'll appear here in a minute, just there in a minute, all right? Because there you go. Because there's a little time delay.
what's with her head?
To cut your head off. Right, this is Courtney. Courtney comes from a long line of Stoke City supporters and the odd Manchester United one thrown
Stand
in.
up now.
And Courtney's been to one game with me where I blessed her with a Birmingham City shirt and plastered it on Facebook. Courtney Hudson is a blue. And what she wants to do is she's coming tonight to pledge her allegiance to Birmingham City Football Club for the rest of her life, and so that all her family can hear and watch this and get it repeated.
Yeah.
So, Courtney, this is your inauguration into being
This one is the Wembley.
a member
Oh yeah, I'll have to use that.
of the best football club in the whole world. You can keep all your Manchester Uniteds, you can keep your Barcelonas, you can keep anybody, you can keep anybody, right? Birmingham City is the best football club to be a part
Absolutely.
of. Now then, here we go. This is going to adorn your neck, and this is going out live around the world. Poor girl, somebody says.
It's like a religious ceremony.
Courtney, do you pledge your allegiance to Birmingham City Football Club for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Get in! That's what we wanted to hear. Sit down.
Yes. What the Blues?
Well done, Matt, well done. Your nan's going to love that. Oh, dear me. Oh, golly.
Poor girl, poor girl.
Whew. Any more comments from that one then?
Yeah, well done. Well done.
I've been criticised for not.
Welcome
letting
to the
us sit
family,
down.
Courtney. That was a nice one. That's from...
But I felt it was right that she was upstanding for the
Absolutely.
moment
Yeah.
Brilliant.
to announce.
Trump
a
stood
live
during
one.
his inauguration.
Nice one,
That's it,
Courtney.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gotta
yeah.
be done.
James Brown, does Courtney want
Look, well,
TTTDDS? Does Courtney want TTTTDS?
Yes, I think everybody does.
That's the Tilton Talk Deadline Day special. We're trying to organise for next Thursday.
This
But
Thursday
the wife,
coming.
can the wife hear through the walls
3
or not?
days time.
Probably, yeah. Here's a good one, here's a good one
dear.
regarding Courtney, Peter, Crisp and Rolf.
Paul
do it,
Lucas says
never-
she's moaning about Gleeson in the background already.
Yeah.
I love it, love the comedy.
Don't do it, you
Love
have
the
a
comedy. Blues will break your heart, yes they will, but
Yep.
yeah, it's worth
They will.
every moment of it.
She's moaning about
So what time we meeting at West Hills Thursday night?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Gregory Beasley wants to know if you can wheel a wheelbarrow.
All aboard
Is
the
Courtney on the
World
next
Division.
Tilton Talk Away Day? Yeah, why not? Why not? And what I've done for pledging that tonight, I've promised to. I was going to get a season ticket at the beginning of the season, but I had a nasty back injury, so I didn't know how I was going to be.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get the half one at Christmas, and that's going to be a Christmas present.
Awesome.
There you go. From moi for doing that tonight, mate.
Got a question from Des
Part of the
Fox.
family.
Can we talk about Kevin Bond? What is he actually doing? That's a good question. Obviously with Cottrell, we had Cottrell at the end of last season.
Yeah.
He decided not to stay on, so Kevin Bond was the one that's
But
come
he
in.
decided not to stay on because he wanted to go into management.
Yeah,
And
I think
he's
so.
doing punditry now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
but
still
it
hasn't
was-
got a gig, has he? But
It was
No.
on the game against Burton with Scott.
Yeah,
He was
right.
on that.
Yeah.
But obviously, I
I think
he's-
mainly as a connection to us.
the
rather
thing
than
is, if
anything.
he's contracted to us
Yeah.
and the job, say a lower league club wanted to employ him as a manager, they'd have to pay Blues compensation. So I guess he just wants to keep his options open and
Yeah.
just doing the punditry on the side, isn't it?
Yeah.
Going back to best of luck. Yeah, sorry, I missed that one.
Yeah, best of luck, girl. Nowhere better to be. Keep right on. All the sorrows make the joys 100 times sweeter.
And Dan Jones, Courtney, welcome. We might not be good on the pitch at the moment, but I love Birmingham City, best club in the world. This is what you're part of now. You're part of the family, the Blues family. That's what we call it, the Blues family.
community.
Even Mr. Fun's smiling tonight. He's a little moment. A little
sure.
moment. Bless him.
Sunburn. I've been at New Road all day watching the cricket.
Noticed a new flag on Saturday. Still stinks like an old shed. Quality. That is absolute quality there.
Oh yeah, what was that flag about?
It's about the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah.
See, what do
Yeah.
you think about that? Because I don't want us to get it.
I'm not bothered about us getting the Commonwealth Games. I just don't want the stadium
Yeah,
afterwards.
that's why I don't want it,
I
because
do
I
not
think we'll
want
be
a
looking to
stadium
the
afterwards. I
stadium.
do not want a different stadium. I do not want a different stadium. I do
No.
not want to move. No, thanks.
We don't
no,
want to be
thank
West
you.
Ham Mark 2.
I'd rather keep the main stand as it is, or just shut it down and be done with it.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
I do
we need
not.
a new main stand.
I do. Yeah, but I don't. I do not want to move. Not at all.
No.
Not at all. Yeah, it was the Birmingham Commonwealth,
Commonwealth
bid
bid
flag,
flag, yeah.
but apparently it still stunk like an old shit.
Must just be some of that.
Glazed,
flag.
it's just probably folded it up and laid it on top of the other one. Been there for a week or two. David Monarchs, I don't want the stadium that comes with the Commonwealth Games. It's a promo flag for the scum. His dad was
His dad was not going
his
to
dad
be
was
good
not
down
any
Blues.
good down the Blues.
Well, let's think of it with this Commonwealth Stadium, right? Obviously, if Birmingham do get it, someone will need to accommodate it afterwards. The Villa won't need it because Villa have already got a big enough ground.
Well, they wouldn't move from there, would they?
And West Brom isn't. Well, it's technically Birmingham, but it's not, is it?
Well, I don't suppose West Brom's. It depends where the stadium's going to be. You know, the West Brom ground isn't a million miles away from the centre, is it?
Not really, no.
If you know, West Brom Premier League club, what they got? What's theirs hold at the moment? About 35,000.
No, West Brom's about 26, 27.
Is that all? Yeah. So, Premier League club, they, you know, arguably they'd be the ones who.
But look at West Ham. Look at the state of what West Ham have done with that.
Yeah.
What a mess. What a mess.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to them. Don't get me wrong.
They can spend £15 million on strikers, though.
Yeah,
they're not doing much at the moment, but
not doing so well, are they? Really?
no, not at the moment. No.
So happy Tottenham are doing well as well.
Give it Solly or Moores.
Yeah, I'd have a new stadium. We've got to
more.
move with the time, says Brian Johnson. No to the new stadium. Thank you, Peter Rolfe. And we need a new ground. St Andrews atmosphere has gone. The atmosphere inside St Andrews can be as brilliant as you make it.
Yeah, exactly.
As brilliant
It's
as
up to
you
the
make
fans.
it.
Yeah.
However,
I say it's up to the
there
fans
was
to make it.
absolute
It's up to the-
apathy there on Saturday.
But what,
Yeah.
From
what
before
can
the
you-
kick-off.
What can you actually make? You know what? As fans, you can sing "Keep Right On" at the start, and you can clap along to ELO at the start, and you can get excited. But as soon as that game kicks off, what can you actually do with that sort of performance?
See, I
This
guess
isn't-
Surely
whether we
the
like it
fans
or
can-
not,
the
this
fans
is
can
not the
improve the
70s
ball.
anymore. People don't come to football to sing and chant on the terraces anymore. They come to watch football.
Yeah,
And if
Jack Mullen
we're
says
rubbish-
atmosphere's not gone, just nothing to be excited about at the moment.
Yeah.
Pete
Yeah,
Taylor
right.
going back on one. I'd have the new stadium. They could deliver bolted pies by drone to your seat.
Actually, Pete, we have got hawkers at the moment who are delivering pies around us.
I saw them walking around
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
concourse on Saturday. Yeah.
It's just not by drone, just by some bloke on £7 an hour.
they've even started doing the beer as well now, haven't they? Just up by
Outside,
the
yeah,
entrances.
yeah.
And then you're
That's
surprised
quite
on the staff turnover then.
No,
Sorry. Yeah.
yeah.
St Andrews, my home, my church, my life. No to a new stadium. Terry Dempsey. Got to get the main stand sorted and floodlights. Let's use Hawkeye at night. Your thoughts on Hawkeye? Go on, then.
I heard something about that actually. That the stadium, the floodlights at St Andrews aren't good enough, which means that we can't use the goal line technology
Oh,
All
yeah, I
right.
saw that, yeah.
on
I
a
saw
night
that.
game.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never knew
yeah.
that.
That's what I believe is the case. Because they keep trial whenever, because obviously we have to get in relatively early. So at like midday, they're all trialing. They've all got the ball on a ladder on the goal line and things. So I think they've been trialing it to see if we can actually have it. And I assume we can have it on a 3 o'clock game, but on the night games, the floodlight isn't good enough for us to actually have goal line technology because it won't work.
Yeah.
Ray wants to know what your first game was at St Andrews.
Well, my first real football memory was the '98 World Cup, Owen's goal against Argentina. Because I just remember it vividly because my brother broke his leg playing. Me and him were playing football in the back garden one summer's afternoon, and he was in hospital for the whole World Cup. Didn't have to go to school and got to watch the whole World Cup.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, living the dream, weren't it, at 6? But yeah, it was after that summer, like that's when we got into football, and our old man got us a couple of season tickets. I can't physically remember my first game. The first one that I can remember was we beat Crewe 5-1. It was early September, and we went top of the league that night.
Remember?
That's the first one I remember, but I remember going down before. I just couldn't pinpoint an exact game or score.
I don't think I can remember my first home game. The earliest game I can remember was Bolton away at Burndon Park, at the old ground.
Newcastle at home, mine.
I
Mine
couldn't
was
put
Leyton
a
Orient.
finger on the first home game.
68.
Back in the 60s.
Just been to too many, haven't we?
Oh, you really are old, aren't
Well,
you?
am I?
You really are old. Is it any wonder you don't want to go and confront your missus about
Oh,
Thursday?
yeah, I'm scared.
Right, yes, somebody mentioned that we can't even have Hawkeye on 3 o'clock winter games either.
No, well, yeah, because by the end of the game it'll be dark, yeah.
Yeah. Kev Kelly says floodlights were last improved first Premier League season by Sullivan and Gold. Since then, lighting standards have moved, but not BCFC. We've not invested. We've not been able to invest either, have we? And somebody's also mentioned like having perhaps like blue and white electric lights all the way around the stadium. So when the team comes out, like like be strobing around the stadium and things like that. Or is it getting too Americanised for you?
Yeah, that's it. You don't want a brand new modern stadium, but you want funky flashing lights when the players come out.
Well, I've worked with funky flashing lights all my life, so.
The old clapperboards debate all come back out again. I'm not going into that.
What about the old, the rattle? Did you have one, Chris Brown?
A rattle?
Yes.
Not that old.
Come on. Did you have a rattle, please?
No, I didn't have a rattle, no.
You didn't have a rattle?
No. I have seen one. I have
Jack
held one.
Monarchs, it's not the NFL, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll be naming each player out and they'll be running out on their own.
Yeah.
Not for me.
What would our franchise name be?
Yeah.
The Birmingham Blues.
It would be, wouldn't it? It would be the Birmingham Blues.
The Bromley
We'd
Bullets.
have a draft as well.
Huh? Oh, God, no.
People are giving us their first ever game. Rays was 1-0, Liverpool at home, and Joey Jones scored. Mick Greaves was Fulham, which was a 3-4 defeat at home.
3-0 up at half-time.
3-0 up at half-time, yes. 1979 that was. Steve Kimberley's was Blues, Plymouth, the first, and Trevor Francis' goal was disallowed for a handball. I think it was a cup game.
There you go. Let's get Jasper and Jefflin to turn the new lights. Don't fancy a new ground, and it wouldn't be the same. Just finish and improve St Andrews. Yeah, I agree. I never wanted the old cop to go, mind you. Know what I mean? Did you remember it, Sam?
No, before my time. No.
What a place! What a place!
I mean, with the
you used to fear going in there as a home supporter.
The railway was being built when I first went down.
Right.
Because our brothers got the because I think they sent us a certificate out to everyone that attended the game that was first opened, and our brothers still got it at home.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
For the first
That first game was standing in the now family standing at Leicester. 1889 toilets were drain pipes stuck to a brick wall. I remember them well, Pete Taylor. I remember them well.
Leonard Edgington, who I believe is our friend
from Australia,
from down south,
Yeah, he is, yeah.
says that his first game, Liverpool won 9-1.
Oh, yes.
We beat Liverpool 9-1. Was that's still Liverpool's heaviest defeat? Is it? I think
so. Yeah.
I'm going to research
no
that.
No surprise he's stuck around as a Blues fan. If that was his first game,
Robert Doyle, mine was in the 90s and the floodlights went off. Cold Bovril, cold burgers. I think we've moved on since then. Was it in
just the cold burgers left out? The Bovril's lukewarm. But
Robert, was that a night game at an international level? Well, that's all I'm going to ask you, because I was at the same game if it was, and we were setting fire to our programmes to keep warm. It was that cold. It was.
Carl Thomas says you'd have something to complain about with the toilets in the old car.
Yeah, bring back the train smoke. That was a great difference. At the back of it.
Here we go. 11th of December, 1954. On a freezing December afternoon in front of 17,500 gleeful Brummies, Liverpool sunk to their lowest ever depths on the pitch.
What date was it, Chris?
11th of December, 1954.
Leonard Edgington was 6 at the time. He's just said I was 6 at the time.
So we now know that Leonard's 60.
It's all downhill from there, weren't it?
9-1 defeat.
9-1. Liverpool's biggest ever defeat.
Yeah.
Before Paisley and Shankly, weren't it?
Football Club.
Was, yeah. Yeah, before Paisley and Shankly.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch Deadline Day. Might see Harry a couple of times getting some quality in from George with his arm out the window and winking his eye.
However he does it, I don't care if he comes
as long as Adam Wingard don't show up at the car park.
Just gets, if you like I said last week, he's getting to the point now where he actually come out this week, didn't he, and said I haven't touched nearly any of the actual transfer fund that has been given to me. Like, okay, well, now we've played 5 games and we're pretty awful. Maybe you could actually start utilising that now.
Yeah.
The players that you actually do want, if they're 2 million more than you think they are, don't matter. Just pay it. Use that transfer fund. Get the players in that you want.
Welcome to Amir. He's just joined us. Pity about Arsenal's result Saturday. We were just talking, Amir, about Blues
Sunday
beating Liverpool 9-1. But obviously you couldn't compete and match that the weekend, could you?
No.
And can you please stop going to away matches?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think they've won one since they started going, haven't they? They've only won one.
Yeah, I think so.
Is the Torino done deal fallen through?
I was just about to say about that
quiet, isn't
Aqua.
it?
What's happened with that?
Yeah.
I don't know. No idea.
So it's mad. The Anazi deal fell through because of a work permit issue. Because apparently, it's more difficult with players from Africa, and he was Nigerian, and apparently he hasn't played enough games.
No, what?
And then Leicester went and signed a Nigerian for £15 million, and there were no issues with that.
No.
And another
thing
Premier
is,
League club it happened with.
There's a number of things to consider with a work permit. So, like I think it's with the top 20 ranked nations in the world. Players only have to play in 30% of the senior games, and then the lower that the team's ranking is, the higher the percentage. But even if they don't meet that, it's like there's a kid that signed for Tottenham, that Davinson Sanchez from Ajax.
Yeah.
Because the wage that he's on, because obviously it's the government that provide the work permits, isn't it? The wage that he's going to be on is going to produce a lot of money for the tax path, so obviously they'll be like, he can have a work permit. Whereas Anazi, he's probably wasn't offered a fantastic wage to come to us, and they've probably just haven't done it. But that's how it all kind of works.
But I mean, I don't think I don't know if a work permit issue will arise with Aqua. I think it's more of a transfer fee.
Is he Ghanaian? He
is Ghanaian, yeah. But I think they're probably a little bit higher in the
rankings. They are. Nigeria are a lot lower.
Yeah.
So
James Brown is saying it's because Nigeria fell out of the top 50 rankings.
Yeah, that might be why. Yeah.
So,
but they didn't have a problem with. But like Sam said, if Leicester and Spurs are offering these players stupid amounts a week that we can't,
well, it benefits the tax part, doesn't it? So
it benefits the company. But Aqua, I think he didn't play for Torino last night, did he? He was on the bench, and I think he come on for the last 10 minutes or so. So he didn't start for Torino last night.
And Peter Rolfe saying Aqua cannot leave until a replacement is brought
maybe that is the situation. A similar thing with Downing and Shotton and things like that. A lot of deals at the moment, I think, are you're waiting for teams to get their signing sorted before you can actually go and get their players.
Is that what's happened with Downing? Because I was under the impression that Downing was allowed to leave on a free.
I thought he had something left on his contract still, and I don't know whether Middlesbrough are playing hardball because we're playing hardball over Shotton, saying we need a centre half before you can have Shotton, and they're saying, well, you can't have Downing until we get Shotton. I don't know.
But so because I know with Shotton, they have like the ones to sign the replacement beforehand.
Yeah.
Now we've been linked with Flint all summer from Bristol City. What was the quote price? $5 million. So if Shotton's going for the 3.2 to 3.5 million, in theory you're only paying $1.5 million for Flint.
So just pay it. Yeah, pay the money. Yeah.
and if Redknapp's saying he's still got the budget there,
exactly. There's no excuse, is there?
No.
Oh, Rich Rodley, if only we could. If only we could.
You can shout it as much as you want, Rich. We're not getting Troy Deeney.
Yeah.
Can I quickly say we've had over 85 shares so far, and you've still got time to share and win a prize. It's quite easy. Just click that little button on the bottom that says share.
You're quite excited, aren't you?
It's because you've got the float on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Basong, what do you reckon? Training.
We're not going down that route, though, are we?
Really?
We said this. I saw somebody put a comment about Cranshaw. Would Cranshaw be worth a shout? We are not going down the Harry's Old Boys route. Everyone we've brought in has been at 26 or under, I think.
Yes, yeah.
We're not going down. Robbie Keane was bandied about for 3 weeks. Were we ever really in for Robbie Keane? Ashley Cole was bandied about. Were we ever actually interested in Ashley Cole? I think it was probably genuine interest from Harry for Terry, but all these other players that are bandied about, the Crouch and Cranchars and Defoes and all of this, it's because Harry's got a reputation that he brings all his old players back. But we haven't actually gone down that route, have we?
No, we haven't. Somebody, I can't remember your name, and I do apologise, asked how Gallagher played the weekend. I thought he was quite strong, held the ball up well, didn't get a lot of service.
It's possibly
exactly
difficult, but based on the fact he had nothing to work with. But
he looked strong, though. He looked a real meaty sort of like character.
listen, he's 6'4", and he did well for Blackburn last season in a side that ultimately went down. But I think he was only there since in January.
Yeah.
He scored 10 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert Dawes says Harry is playing the press. The Evening Mail are being led a right merry dance.
Maybe so.
Maybe so. I mean, I've lost count of the amount of names that the Evening Mail have reported Blues are linked
Probably been linked
in.
with every single footballer.
But, I mean, I don't blame the
I think we've
Evening
even been
Mail.
linked with Uncle Bulgaria from the Wombles.
But he ain't been playing for the Wombles for a few years.
I bet we could just pluck a name out of thin air and just say that he's after him, and then there'll be a paper report.
You know, I don't believe that papers do. I think, especially with Redknapp, I think there's enough people that would say that they are confident in genuine interest about a player because Redknapp's in charge. That they have the right to run with it. And at the end of the day, how many people have been clicking on Birmingham Mail, tidbits
To have a look at
and
the
stuff,
adverts,
to see what does this story actually say?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they do it?
And
if they get a little, even the slightest rumour.
How many of us were mentioning
Harry's
Boga a
in-
week ago?
Well, exactly. But a lot of the people that we saw, Stockdale come out completely out of the blue. Jenkinson and Bramwell come out of the blue, and Gallagher was there, for a few days. But nobody was talking about Boga last week, were they? So.
Not at all. So, do you think Harry's still got something up his sleeve for the end of the week?
I hope so.
Yeah,
He best do.
Yeah, well,
Otherwise, he's in trouble.
I honestly think if he doesn't conduct the transfer business that he wants, I wouldn't be surprised if he walks.
No.
I really wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he'll see
At the end of the
year
day,
out.
is what 71.
If we get two signings before now and when the window shuts, after the state of that performance against Reading on Saturday, and after the battering he gave those players after Burton, saying half of them aren't good enough, half of them I can't manage these players. If we only get two more people in, then what can he do with them? You can't turn it around with three new players.
But that wouldn't just be three, though, would it be six?
Jenkinson's injured for a long time.
Well, I don't know, 6 weeks, 6 weeks.
I think it's got.
Anybody out there?
I think it's going to take two midfielders.
Has anybody out there had a dislocated shoulder? And if so, how long was it before you were back at work?
And are you a professional footballer?
Because I don't know, but yeah, and have you got access to all the resources? That
Yeah,
they have?
exactly.
Was it an accident or whether it wasn't your fault?
James Fox said need 6 to 8 more. I can't see that. Brian Johnson, Harry won't walk. I don't think he will. He walked from Southampton.
Yeah.
Do you think he's...
That's quite a long way to Birmingham, isn't it?
do you think he's making the current players as well disenfranchised by coming out and having a go about
I
them?
I think the performances are showing that.
Yeah, I agree.
I do. I think you can drop Davis and Gardner all you want, but if that means that you're playing Gleeson.
Yeah.
Bloody Gleeson!
Yeah.
What is he still doing in the starting 11?
He's 71 and he Redknapp. He's 71. He doesn't. If he doesn't get the targets that he wants, he doesn't have to stick around. He's like, you know what? I've built my career. I've got my money. I'm sound.
I don't blame him.
Need to pull up
And at the
with
end of the day, he's had a lot of bad luck as well.
right.
The Ensue thing, nobody was worse at Burton than Ensue. He went hiding in that second half.
Good.
So he brings Jenkinson in on loan. Jenkinson gets injured. 20 minutes in, he's got to play Ensue again.
Yeah.
And Ensue was hiding for the whole of the Reading game as well.
Right. Gregory Beasley says 16 weeks. I'm a PE teacher but needed an operation. He needed surgery on his. And the consensus of opinion is between 6 and 10 weeks.
Yeah.
So that is quite, because that's Christmas at least, isn't it?
I think the thing that I think our fans don't know about Ensue as well, because we played Mallorca in a pre-season friendly like about 7 or 8 years ago, and Ensue was playing for them then, and he was an out-and-out striker. He's been slowly converted back into a right fullback when he's naturally an attacking player. So I think Ensue would be a good player, but you've got to play him further forward. He would be a good wing option, potentially, and maybe a player that could go up top at some points.
Right, okay, go back to this one then. Clinton Morrison played with a dislocated shoulder and wore a special body brace. don't know whether I'd fancy it. 5 more signings if I had a guess from James Brown. Des, Fox, Davis, Gardner were not interested. I thought Davis made
But
an
they're
impact when he came
better
in.
than what we've got.
Oh, yeah,
and
without
whether
doubt.
you like them or not, or whether you're trying to make a point to them or not, Davis has to play.
But
Right.
Davis was played out right for the first couple of games,
Exactly, that's not
and then
his
had a
fault, is
virus.
it? Yeah.
And Rich Rodley, I'll hold you to this. Right, mark my words. If we put a bid in for Deeney, he will come. He's a blue nose, and he's not getting any older. Not getting any older.
Well, if
not
we've
getting
got
any
20
younger.
million to buy an
So
English
why
striker
wouldn't
that
we?
will score 15 goals in the Premier League, then maybe so.
So you're saying that's an absolute no for Deeney?
It's 20 million plus transfer fee.
I'd love to be sitting here on Thursday night, saying,
Or outside West Hills.
Or outside West Hills, live report in. No, we've just signed Troy.
Who knows?
Dear. Sorry, guys. Even though I think Harry, but I think his time in the game is now over. Harry was good in the late 90s. Look,
I'm not writing him off.
no, I'm not writing him off.
I'm not writing him off. Just needs some.
Yeah. TTDDS with a hashtag before it. There you go. Courtney Hudson, very well done for pledging your allegiance to Birmingham City Football Club.
Yeah.
Sam, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you in
Yeah,
tonight.
it's
Very, very
fun.
good of you, my friend. Very good of you to come. Mr. Pugh, great to see you again, my friend.
As
Keep
always.
smiling, keep smiling.
As
And Mrs.
always.
Brown. Good night. God bless from
See
the
you
Tilton Talk
Thursday.
Show.
Just
Keep right
quickly
on.
before we go, we're going to play this song until we win a game. Anyway,
Okay.
good night.
Until we win a game.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?